Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. Yes, yes. He is. He is. He is.
The studio fell into a vacuum of sound. Jasmine Crockett leaned forward, eyes locked on the camera, her voice slicing through the silence like a blade. "This isn't rumor," she said, pulling out her phone. "This is audio. His voice, from the night he tried to rewrite the election." For a heartbeat, no one moved. The red lights on the cameras blinked like warning signals. A producer mouthed, "Is this real?" But Crockett had already tapped play. A low crackle, then the unmistakable tone of Donald Trump, calm but commanding. "We can't lose Georgia. Not like this. You have to find the votes." Gasps rippled through the studio. The sound was faint, distorted, but clear enough to recognize. She froze the clip right after the words, "find the votes," then looked directly into the lens. "This," she said, "isn't leadership. It's desperation with a microphone." Every viewer watching at home knew something irreversible had just been unleashed.
President Trump himself on another network criticized you and called you a low IQ individual. What was your reaction to that, and what do you say to that?
He's such a loser.
Jasmine didn't flinch. "You can call me whatever you want," she fired back, her voice steady, controlled. "But the facts don't stutter." The host tried to pivot, asking if the recording could be verified. She didn't blink. The metadata matches the date of his campaign call. The voice analysis, 98% confirmation. "It's him." A murmur of disbelief spread across the room. One guest whispered to another, "If that's true, this could reopen the entire investigation." Crockett leaned into the tension, refusing to soften her tone. "For 4 years, he called me names. For 4 years, he said women like me couldn't lead, couldn't fight, couldn't win. But now, he's the one explaining why his own words are on tape." Her phone remained on the desk, screen still glowing. The waveform of the audio shimmered faintly in the studio light, evidence that couldn't be shouted down or mocked into silence. Across social media, the clip began to spread within minutes. The hashtags #CrockettAudio and #TrumpCall trended globally before the segment even ended.
She became a career prosecutor while he became a career criminal. With 34 felonies, 2 impeachments, and 1 porn star to prove it.
The room erupted. One commentator tried to interrupt, but Jasmine spoke louder, her words slicing through the crosstalk like glass. "You called us liars. You called this a witch hunt. But tell me, how many felonies make a witch?" She pressed play again. The second clip rolled, the sound grainy yet unmistakable. "We need those votes. I don't care how you do it, just get it done," Trump's voice demanded. The studio froze. The host, suddenly pale, looked off camera, waiting for direction that didn't come. Technicians exchanged nervous glances as the broadcast director mouthed, "Keep rolling." Jasmine leaned back, letting the silence grow heavy. "This was not a joke," she said quietly. "This was a sitting president asking someone to break the law on national record. And now you all hear it." One of Trump's former advisors, seated 2 chairs away, tried to defend him. "Context," he muttered, his voice cracking. "You're twisting—" "Context," she snapped. "The context is corruption." Her words hit like gunfire, crisp, relentless, impossible to ignore. The air in the studio thickened, and even those who disagreed couldn't look away.
I mean, when you have low IQ people like Crockett, she's a very low IQ person.
The clip ended, but Jasmine didn't stop. She looked straight into the camera, her tone cutting through the tension like steel. "Low IQ, huh? Let's test that," she said, "because my IQ doesn't beg for fake votes on tape." A stunned silence followed. The air felt electric, vibrating with disbelief. One of the anchors tried to step in. "Congresswoman, we can't independently verify—" But Jasmine interrupted, voice firm, deliberate. "Oh, it's verified, and I'll be submitting it to the committee before the day is over." The screen behind her lit up with waveforms, timestamps, and matching transcripts. It was no longer just her claim. It was evidence. From the corner of the set, a Trump ally who had been smirking since the start suddenly shifted in his seat. "I've heard that recording before," he whispered, forgetting his mic was live. The words hit the air like a detonator. The host turned wide-eyed. "You've what?" He stammered. I mean, it's circulating internally. I wasn't supposed to—" Too late. The internet was already clipping it. Crockett leaned closer to her mic, her voice low and steady. "Truth has a funny way of finding a microphone, she said. The control room went dead quiet.
I actually wanted to be an anesthesiologist. So I've always been really good at math and science.
Jasmine exhaled slowly, her voice calm now, precise. "You know," she said, "math and science don't lie. And neither does this tape." She turned the phone screen toward the camera, the waveform frozen mid-sentence, the timestamp glowing in red. "This isn't politics," she continued. "It's arithmetic. One call, one command, one crime too many." The host tried to ask another question, but the words died in his throat. The audience behind the glass sat motionless, eyes wide, phones recording. Even the technicians forgot to breathe. Trump's former advisor sank back in his chair, whispering, "This can't be happening." "Oh, it's happening," Jasmine replied. "And the math checks out." The clip of her final words spread across every platform within minutes. News outlets scrambled to verify. Pundits clashed on live television, and the phrase, "math doesn't lie," trended for hours. By midnight, the studio lights were off, but the echo of that recording still lingered in every feed, every comment thread, every whispered conversation in Washington. Crockett's last words replayed over and over, a calm voice over the chaos. "Numbers don't twist truth. They reveal it." The studio had frozen in silence once more. Only this time, the silence meant surrender.